friends, welcome to another cooking time with me, K1 Mildred. Today I'm going to be showing you how I make my tomato chicken stew. It's very easy to make, very tasty as well. With your tomato chicken stew, you can eat it with rice, with yam, with potatoes, with any carbohydrate accompaniment. So I'm going to show you through the ingredients, then we'll get into our cooking. So I'll walk you through the ingredients, but before I do that, I'll start preheating my oven, and I'll tell you in a little bit, in a second, why I'm preheating the oven. I'll preheat my oven to 200 degrees Celsius. That should be like 350 Fahrenheit. I don't know. I'll check that out. But it should be thereabout. I'm already preheating the oven. For our tomato stew, we're going to need 4 large tomatoes. They are already washed. And I'm going to incorporate some red bell peppers, 2 of those. Traditionally, where I come from, we don't make tomato stews with bell peppers. But from the day I included the bell peppers in my tomato stew, I've not looked back. And if you try it, you're going to see why. And we will need 3 red onions, and for some heat, some pepper, some habanero pepper. And I will make use of 2 cups of chicken stock. I got it drained already earlier, and if you don't know how I make the chicken, I'm using half a kilogram of chicken, already grilled chicken. I have a video showing you how I grill my chicken. And to cook this up, we need half a cup of vegetable oil. I'm using olive oil. I'm using half a cup because the chicken itself produces a lot of oil. That's why I'm using half a cup of that. Some spring onions, like 2 cents of spring onions, half a teaspoon of curry powder, 7 cloves of garlic, a thumb size of ginger, half a teaspoon of thyme, 1 seasoning cube, and half a teaspoon of salt. So this is all we need to make our tomato chicken stew. So the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to cut this up. Just cut my bell peppers and my tomatoes into large chunks. And the thing is, you know, tomato stew, if you have cooked it before, it takes a lot of time because we need to cook and kill all the acid in the tomatoes, kind of, to kill the sourness, and that takes a long time to cook. But the trick in like shortening the cooking time is to grill the tomatoes, the fresh tomatoes and the bell peppers. I'm going to grill it. That's why you saw me preheating my oven some minutes ago. So I'm going to cut this and put it in my oven to grill for like 20 minutes. Then I'll proceed with the other steps. But I wanted you to see these important steps because it really reduces, you know, it reduces the time you cook the tomatoes, fry the tomatoes. By grilling, you reduce it. And by including the bell peppers, you add to the sweetness of the tomatoes, okay? So, just cutting this up to trust in my oven. So guys, I got my tomatoes and the bell peppers cut, as you can see, and my oven is already preheated, as I said earlier, on to 200 degrees. So what I'll do right now is just to pop it into my, like 20 minutes. If you don't have an oven, you can as well roast it before you blend. Then we'll proceed with the stew, okay? Our tomatoes are ready, so I'll take it out of the grill. See, it's halfway cooked. So what I'll do right now is that I'm going to blend this together. I'm keeping aside one of the onions for later, and the rest of the onions I'm going to blend it together with the tomatoes, okay, and with the garlic. And I'll put all my onions and ginger and some pepper, just like that. Oh, this is still hot. Like this. So I'll put it. I guess I'm going to blend this twice. You don't need to add water to blend. You don't need to add water to blend, just because the tomato itself produces a lot of water. And if you add water, then it will be too watery, and you will need time again for the water to dry out. So I'm just going to blend this. Then I'll be back to continue the rest of the cook. So we'll proceed with the stew now. I got the tomatoes blended. You see the puree right here. And I should tell you, some people will add some tomato concentrate, like the canned tomatoes, the tin one. They'll add to this, but I just want my tomato stew fresh, with the fresh tomatoes and with the bell peppers. So I'll just heat up my oil, and I'm using half a cup of oil, of olive oil. You can use groundnut oil, you can use canola oil. Just half a cup of that. And as usual, I'll begin with the onions. Just give my oil some few minutes or seconds to get hot. Okay, so I'm going to add the onions right now. Too bad it wasn't hot enough. I'm a bit in a rush. I think I'm going to step this up because I want to hear that sound, the frying sound. Yeah, it's coming together now. Yeah. As you know, I didn't introduce white pepper, but I always fry my onions with white pepper. You should know that now. Just because I love the flavor of white pepper and it makes the onions sweeter. Just sprinkle in some white pepper and give it a stir. It's fine the way I want it. And I'm adding spring onions. Just give it a good mix. And some salt, not all of it yet, just a little bit of salt. And give it a good stir. Now, it's a good time for me to add the tomato puree. I'll lower the heat because sometimes you can skip and you can have an injury in the kitchen, so you don't want that. I'm going to lower this more. See what I mean? So you want to do it on low heat because tomatoes, they don't take it easy on you when you're frying them. I think I'm going to use a little bit of water to rinse this out. Just a little bit of water. One thing you want to do when you're cooking tomato stew, you don't want a lot of water when it's not needed, because we want it as dry as possible, okay? This looks good. So more of the salt. Look at that puree. Looks good. So what I will do is that I will cover this up. Alternatively, you can leave it open so that as it cooks, there's no water draining right back. I don't want my kitchen all messy. That's why I will cover this up and give it time to cook. Just like 10 minutes, because remember the tomatoes are already grilled, so it will not take us long and our tomato stew will be ready. So I'll just give it like 10 minutes to cook. So friends, I will check how the pot is doing, and you'll notice why I closed it, because if it wasn't covered, then the tomatoes will be skipping out of the pot, as you will see on it, right? That's why. You see? It's getting dry, the water is getting dry, which is an indication, it's a good thing that our tomatoes are almost ready. Actually, we didn't have to cook it for long, so what I'll do now, because it's almost dry and I want the process to go a little bit faster, I'll let it open so that the air can the water can evaporate easily. So I'll just leave this open and step up the heat a little bit, but I'm using a non-stick sticky pot. But if you're using another one, then you may have to really keep an eye. I'll just let this dry for like 5 minutes, then I'll proceed with adding the rest of the ingredients. So guys, my tomatoes are completely cooked now. So what I will do is to add in the chicken, because it's a tomato chicken. You can use beef, you can use fish. And I don't know, I remember my mom used to just to kill the acid in the tomatoes. Like if you are watching this from Cameroon, my mom used to add a little tiny bit of canwa, what we know as canwa, that's limestone, or you can add a little bit of baking soda, just a little tip to kill that sour taste. But if you're using this recipe and you have access to bell peppers, you don't need that. And if you use this method I just showed you, then you don't really need the canwa. Okay, and I'm adding in my chicken stock, which I drained earlier when I was preparing the chicken. You know, when you're grilling chicken, it produces a lot of water. So sometimes I just drain and I freeze for days like this when I'm making stew. I'm going to step this up a little bit. Now I'll add some salt again, like the leftover salt, and the seasoning cube goes right in. Basically, I'm just throwing in the rest of the ingredients, the thyme, the curry. Basically, that's it. You see? You know, people, you know, making stew, you have your personal preference. If you want it to be thick, you don't need to add a lot of water. But if you want it to be more watery, then you add a lot of water. Okay? Did I make myself clear? I hope I did. What I'm just saying is, if you want it to be lighter than this, then you add some water. But if you want it thick, then this goes just perfect. Okay? Yeah. Great. And I'll just taste if my seasoning is good. Perfect. I'll just give this like 2 minutes. And I promise you guys, you're done. So guys, this just simmered for 2 minutes. And I think it's ready. You see? That is our perfect chicken stew right there. Oh my God, it smells so good, so good in here. So that's how to get it done. So what is left? Dig in and have a taste. Just going to go with that for now. And you see, I'm not using a lot of chicken. That's because I had just that left in the house at home. You can go with more chicken, you can go with beef, you can go with fish. So I'll go right in and have a taste. It's quite hot. The rice, you can have it with yam, with white yam, with ripe plantains, with potatoes. No sourness, very spicy, flavorful, and sweetness from the paprika, from the bell peppers. Makes it very tasty. You have to make some tomato chicken stew. Thanks so much for watching this video, guys. And if you do love the video, please do give me a thumbs up. And you can leave a comment telling me what you want me to cook. Remember to tell your friends about my channel. And do subscribe if you have not subscribed yet, because I promise you there's a lot more coming from where this came from. Thanks a lot. God bless. Bye. Daddy chopped the wood.